Hey, Levi.
Hey, Tom, what's going on?
Nothing, man. Guess what?
Guess what? I don't know what.
You can now listen to this podcast on Spotify.
Just Spotify, Tom, you say?
No!
What?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Wherever I go, Tom and Levi, Notepod.
You type that in, you'll see it. It's there.
Wait, so if I type in Notepod on Spotify, it will come up?
Yeah, betcha.
Oh, no way! I can't wait to go on my Spotify Premium because I bought it and listen to the podcast.
Follow the link below.
Oh, and you can follow the thing so you'll never miss an update or a Notepod?
That's what I said.
Well, that sounds pretty dandy. I'll see you on the next one. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Notepod, where we talk about anything we want, but mostly gaming stuff. And today we wanted to talk about the Animal Crossing Direct that occurred in, I think it was like the start of March or maybe late February. But it's coming out soon, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we're so excited about it that we thought, hey, let's talk about what we already know. So, hi Tom, thanks for joining me.
Hello, Levi. It's great to be here. Can't wait to talk about Tom Nook colonising the planet.
Yeah, so we'll get to the capitalism in a bit, but we're big fans of the Animal Crossing series anyway, so Tom, how about you tell us roughly your experience with the Animal Crossing gaming series?
Yes, of course. So I was but 8 years old, I think, maybe 7, and I got the Animal Crossing game on GameCube for Christmas, and that was my Christmas game. That's all I played for years. I played it with my brothers. We all had like save files and different memory cards. It was great fun. And then I played Wild World. I got that for my birthday with a Nintendo DS. I would still play that same file today. Fantastic. I played the Wii one, but not as much. I don't know, it was something about the portability I liked of Wild World that I stuck with that instead. And I played New Leaf quite a lot as well.
Interesting. I didn't know that you got so you got it as a Christmas gift, the first ever
Yes.
Animal Crossing. Was that like a gift? Was that something you wanted? You were pitching
Oh yeah,
it to your parents?
No, I definitely wanted it because I remember it was actually it was strange because like my dad actually recommended it to me. We were like in we were in like game or something looking at GameCube games, and he pointed it out saying that he had heard that like the clock continues playing even when you turn the game off, the game continues, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. What? And like that was like one of the only games my dad sold me, really. And that's
So
not happened a lot.
Had your dad like not said anything?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have heard of it at all. I don't know how he knew about it, but it certainly caught my attention.
He was clearly a big fan of Epic Gamer magazine quarterly at the time.
must have been, yeah, sure. So tell me your history of Animal Crossing, Levi.
Well, I thought it was funny because Tom's like the sort of Tom. I feel like is the indie kind of Animal Crossing player because he played it on the GameCube, and it completely passed me by. I didn't really have a GameCube. All of my GameCube experiences came through like family, like cousins, stuff like that, and none of them had Animal Crossing. So for me, it was Wild World, and I got a DS. Probably when I was about 10, maybe something like that. But I didn't pick up Animal Crossing until like a few months after that. I had like traded in some stuff and I saw that was there and all my friends had it. So like when you'd be in school and you had like people playing games on like buses to like the leisure centre to do swimming, I don't know, some random
like school trips and stuff.
Yeah, little like bus journeys and stuff, and everybody was playing it, so I kind of saved my pennies, traded in some games and picked it up for myself. And at first I was like, what the hell is this? This seems like dumb. But like after a while you start to realise what the draw for Animal Crossing is. It's sort of like it sort of bleeds into your real life, which ended up being like a big draw because you can just kind of
it feels
always
like a
be playing
true
it.
sort of. I mean, video games are always a massive escape for everyone, but Animal Crossing especially felt like you were just slipping into a completely new life, because it had all the responsibilities, not all of them, but a sizable chunk. Financial responsibilities, yes.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, and it's a very unique experience. You're never really going to get anything that plays exactly like Animal Crossing. As Tom's dad had alluded to, it is like real world. Like it follows time as if it's the real world. So you are living sort of vicariously through your villager, and you're doing tasks and stuff like that. And that's been the general premise. for every Animal Crossing game. Now we've got different like sort of spin-offs. There's a mobile game now as well. There was even the Happy Home Designer, which came out on the 3DS.
Yes,
which was like
I didn't play that, but it had some like knock-on effects into New Leaf. Like some of the features ended up getting included in an update. And the mobile game I played quite a bit as well. But it did, it was fine. It was just a free mobile game. You can't really expect too much from that.
Can't go wrong. And so it's come a long way, but basically the Switch got released in 2017, and the question from then on was, well, this seems perfect for an Animal Crossing game. We've got portability, but you can also play it on the TV, you can like play anywhere. Animal Crossing, it seems like the Switch was almost made with the Animal Crossing in mind. Like, it just seems so perfect for it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of time where you thought, okay, are we going to get it or not? Like, we'd seen, Mario Kart got re-released as well. I was like, maybe they could, like, some form of Animal Crossing game is going to come out, but we didn't see anything for a good few years. And we didn't even really know that there was going to be an Animal Crossing game up until E3. It was E3 it was June 2019 that there was finally, like, just a little teaser. There wasn't any content giving us a small glimpse. We knew it was on a desert island, but that was it. And then, for a little while, there's not really much else about it. A few technical details, something like that. But then this Direct has come along in February, and it's just like a whole info dump telling us what it's going to be like. So what were your earliest impressions of the Direct, Tom? What did you think, knowing that it was coming out?
Well, I mean, going back to, like you say, 2019, was it 2019 where we sort of had an inkling that it was coming pretty soon, and the hype building up just from getting a Switch, knowing that an Animal Crossing game was coming, I was already pretty excited. Because there was so many memes as well, like people doing like trying to conjure spirits to release a Switch version. Yeah, like every
Crossing.
Direct that was coming across was like, oh, is this going to be an Animal Crossing one? Was this the one? But then it finally came, and it was great. But I feel like with the 3DS, when the Animal Crossing came along, like 3DS sales just exploded. I know so many people, at least in my circles, that they just bought a 3DS just to play New Leaf. And that surprised me. I wasn't aware of just how popular the Animal Crossing franchise was. I'm like delighted, actually, because it meant I had people to play with. So I'm hoping that happens with the Switch as well.
Yeah, well, from what I've gathered early on from like post Animal Crossing Direct sort of stuff, is that the internet loves Animal Crossing way more than I thought. It felt, certainly when I was a kid, but that's always the case because the internet wasn't quite as big and it wasn't as accessible. It felt like a sort of, almost like a niche sort of thing. Certainly it must have been the case for you playing it on the GameCube. I feel like Wild World added to its popularity, but even then, I just thought, this is one of those cute games, people know about it, there's a strong fandom, but it's actually massive. Yeah. It's like the top selling on Amazon right now, and it's not even been released yet, so that's, that tells you a thing.
I think it's a very difficult game to hate. Like, if you don't like it, you have to have really strong reasons why not, and like usually it's people who don't like a more relaxed game, and that's fine, but no one is vocally like aggressive and against this game.
You may not like it, but nobody could really, there's not a lot of people who'd hate it, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we should talk about the Direct. So I think we can talk mainly about what we saw, what we're looking forward to. You got a glimpse into what we think about the series, so hopefully that'll give you enough to jump off on. But it's all about, first of all, it's the fact that it's a Direct all about one game. They started doing this recently, Nintendo, just making it all specifically about a game. Obviously they did one for Pokemon, you can check that out on our channel, and they did the one on Animal Crossing, and it's what everybody wanted, and it is the perfect way to sell your game a month before it comes out, I think.
Yes, yeah, no, I completely agree. That's the best way to do it. It's it gets it all concise. You had like 25 minutes of just solid Animal Crossing content, and you could just pick away at it. You weren't just waiting for the next little tidbit, or just like trying to pick through a poster, trying to find little clues. You had it all just consolidated in one nice little package, and it was really well presented. I thought it was it like went through a nice list of everything in a reasonable order. It was good.
It wasn't like over, like, because the thing is, because of how like it was so chock full of stuff that like there's no way people could be disappointed anymore. They were like, look, we took our time, but like it's worth it, trust us, like here's all the stuff. So I'll give it. There's a little bit of a breakdown. So this direct was in 3 parts, but part 1 is really the bulk of what we learned about the game.
Yeah,
so
the
firstly,
new stuff was coming in the part 1. That was what was getting us hooked.
Yeah, the main theme of New Horizons is the fact that it's on a desert island as opposed to, like a town or like a village or anything like that. It's designed, even it's presented as an information session for the Deserted Island Getaway Package. So
yeah, it reminded me of the sort of like holiday video you would get. I can remember when we were going to like Florida as a kid, we had this video sent through of all the things you can expect to come across and see, and all the parts you can go. That sort of thing. I liked that feeling. It was good.
Yeah, well, that was exactly it. And you had Nook. He hops onto the mic, donning a tasteful Hawaiian shirt with like the Animal Crossing leaves on the print. It was great, and he just sort of it's just like a deep dive into deserted island life. And but yeah, the first part they say is a refresher, but it's so full of stuff. It's like giving us. So like you said, like we saw in the teaser trailers, we were trying to make heads or tails, like, oh, I've noticed you can do that, look at those paths, you can make those and do that, but this is more just reaffirming, saying, yeah, here's what it is. So
no speculation necessary, we got it, don't worry.
Yeah, so it shows us like the fact that you arrive at an airport. Hey, there's an airport. Also, I like the idea of the northern southern hemisphere, so obviously different seasons occur in different times depending on where you live. So obviously we are on the northern hemisphere, and winter is towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, because that's obviously something that's not appeared in any previous Animal Crossing game.
So I guess that means like people who lived in Australia or something like that just had to just accept that winter was where.
They didn't have a choice in the matter, which is neat. I like that. It's very inclusive.
Yeah. So, and it really does like reaffirm that they must have thought of everything. I thought the look of the game, just from the direct, I was really into like the winter snowscapes they showed, and like the Aurora Borealis vibes and all that, and it's all stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and the rain. The rain was beautiful. It looked so nice.
The wind on the trees as well.
I've got very fond memories of like going through Wild World and just fishing in the rain of like a thunderstorm, and it's just so peaceful. And I'm looking forward to that again.
Oh, and you get like different like fishies and stuff like that. And obviously activities change with the seasons. It gave us like a glimpse into that. And a lot of this is, sort of classic Animal Crossing fare, but it looks so good. And I'm glad that I get to play it again, on the Switch. I've been playing it on the DS and stuff like that, and even now I'm enjoying it. But it's going to be really cool seeing it looking even more vibrant, looking, a lot more polished. I'm really into that.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And going back to the island setting, I love that idea, because the island has been something that's been in all of the Animal Crossing games. There's always been an island you can go to, and on like the GameCube, you had like the cap and the little frog, and he would like take you off in his boat, and it was just such a magical little thing. I remember being so like blown away by the fact that there was coconuts in the game, like actual coconut trees, and like I'd never actually planted a coconut in the game, and like you could visit it on your Game Boy Advance if you plugged that in, and then playing it on the that was a thing. They had the Game Boy Advance adapter, and you could like unplug it and carry on walking around your island as one of the villagers.
That is so good. I didn't know this. This is like
pixely style. It was great.
It really showed like, and it feels like it's almost like, just to think of that, like the desert, like, let's just put it on there. Like, people like the island aspect in previous games. Let's just make that the whole thing. So it still feels fresh. It adds something new, but like, it still feels like an Animal Crossing game. I think that was what I liked the most about the Direct was that it never deviated too far that it felt out of place, all of these new features and stuff like that. So that was like my initial, what I was getting the vibes from.
Yeah, well, when I heard that it was on an island, I was originally quite concerned, because I thought like the New Leaf Island was always a summertime island. You could go there no matter what time of year it was, and it would be a tropical island with tropical bugs and fish all year round. And I was thinking, well, are they going to do that for the entire time? But then they added all the season stuff, and like, thank God, because that's
and I liked how they talked about the more dynamic sort of changing of the season. So like the colour of leaves gradually changing. They're just small aesthetic changes that just like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, it's something that you'll notice as you're playing along, because it's something, you go fishing, you do some activities, and you'll just go, hey, actually, I think we're coming into autumn now, huh? This is getting pretty interesting. But like instead of it just like changing, it's just nice
it's more of a gradual change. I like that. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and what else was there? So there was like the fella you receive an orientation from Nook basically, and you get your own tent. So that's the whole thing. That was the thing I was like interested by when we saw like the teasers. Was you have your own tent, and I think, okay, how do you expand on this? And you have resident services. Like where you can buy like everyday goods, kind of like the Nook store. You can customize, you can craft now items,
which is a big deal.
Is a big deal. Like it completely changes the game. You can get like DIY sort of recipes, using materials that you find. You can actually start making more use of these materials and craft stuff. Sort of, and I quite like the idea that you can I saw like a sofa that you can make, and like the pillows that are on this like little sofa, you could like use your own designs to customize these DIY
so
items.
that was a thing that was sort of introduced in New Leaf. You could do that with only certain items, and you had to be at a certain point to do that. And I'm sure you have to be at a certain point in this one to do it as well, but it's not as flexible as the amount of customization it seems you can do in this one. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I had a lot of fun customizing my items in New Leaf and making a house that was completely my own.
Also, this was even on my notes. I saw this the other day, and they mention it actually briefly in the FAQ at the end of the direct. But you can use QR codes from like other games where you've designed something. So things you've designed in previous games, it maybe New Leaf or all of that, like all of these memey kind of.
I have Ainsley Harriot's face as a pattern on New Leaf, and I can't wait to transfer
So
it.
what you're saying is Ainsley Harriott confirmed for Animal Crossing New Horizons, basically. Wicked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God,
so I thought that was a neat thing. I thought that was neat because it's a bit of
that's
just
good.
You can add a bit of taste to it. You can still do all the classic stuff. I saw that the airport you can use like local or wireless internet to invite and play with others. So the airport I think is kind of like a bit of a hub for like posting stuff. Apparently you can post mail to residents. I don't know if you can post it to people. I'd be really curious if you can like send post.
I feel like you might be able to. It seems like it's the perfect opportunity to. It's always like that sort of area, that hub has always been a bit of a, I don't know, because like Wild World, it was just the main gate, wasn't it? And it was it's just a bit boring.
There was the two bulldogs.
Yeah, in GameCube it was a train station, which was a little bit more exciting. This time it's a whole airport, and it's got the post office sort of built in, which I'm sort of, I don't know, I like the post office in the old one. I don't really use it, but I wonder what will happen to them.
Switch is so big, they really want to latch onto the fact that you can play with others, and I quite like that. I would like to know how they do that. I'd be cool if I could like post you stuff and like say like I find like I have a fruit or something that's not native to mine that I can give to you. I remember getting cherries in Wild World when my like house fruit was orange, and I was like, yes.
I'm gonna get 500 bells. That's definitely gonna make a big deal. I'll be sending you all sorts of trash.
Tom is going to be sending me actual human feces via Nook mail.
God, animal feces too. All of the feces.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Fossilised feces, the whole shebang. You'll be overcome with poo. That's it.
I would like also, another big thing, that I'm going to forget that you said all of that. Another thing is, obviously, like everything, you get basic necessities at the start, standard fare for the AC series. However, you're given the Nook phone, which has apps, and you can utilize these apps, and we get more apps as time goes on, the more you develop your island. Like, what do you think about that? They've kind of added a splash of modern tech to proceedings.
I don't know. It sounds like it's bring it into the 21st century, but like, come on, man, that sort of stuff has been around on phones for a long time.
Yeah,
so
I'm a big fan of it.
It makes a lot of sense.
It has your basics. It has a camera. I'm sure you can take like selfies or whatever. It has a map.
It's just like having the tablet in Breath of the Wild. Like
exactly the Sheikah Slate / iPad.
Yeah, that's it. Like it makes complete sense because it's a perfect way to access these menus. That doesn't feel like it's just arbitrary menus. You know, it feels like you actually, like in every other game, you go into a menu. It's just it's just this bit of UI. It doesn't feel like it's part of the world. In this, if it's actually on the phone, it's like, oh, your character is doing this on their phone. They're not just staring at the screen while something happens.
It's like you said, it makes it feel like you're living another life. You're living through these like villages. You get your own phone. Like, it's like little things like this that just kind of, it adds to the immersive aspect of this game. So I like the Nook phone. It's cool. And that there's more apps that are going to be on the way as well. I like the rescue option. I think that's where we're going to get Rossetti. So Rossetti, because of the autosave function, is doesn't have a purpose, doesn't have his main purpose anymore. But I noticed that there's like whiskers on that rescue app thing.
Yeah.
And like
the music as well kicked in, and that was very, very similar to the old Rossetti.
And a construction hat as well. So I was like, that's got to be where. That's like
he's a much loved character. It'd be silly to leave him out.
Yeah, I remember him like talking trash to me like for a good 20 minutes.
I
probably saved forever after that.
It was the worst. The feeling. I remember feeling so angry and upset when I accidentally turned off my like.
For God's sake, Tom! Stupid!
My 3DS or like my GameCube, but like I lost power or something. I was like, oh no, Mr. Reset, he's coming back. Oh God. Because it was more like, I got to listen to him babble on for 20 minutes.
And you can't, like, no matter how you answer his questions, he's still going to give you like a whole lecture. But I thought that was cool. I'm curious to see what they do with the Nook phone. Nook provides like a little island-wide broadcast as well, which I quite like.
Yeah, a little at the start of the day, sort of.
Yeah, giving you a little like, hey, there's some events going on, or any kind of like advice of living on the island, that kind of thing. That was nice. But another thing that I noticed was the Nook Miles, the mileage program. That's really interesting. So that's kind of like a because I thought it'd be like all getting bells, but this is like a way of, because it was like Nook points. There's always been a sort of point system, but like. It's not. I feel like this is probably the best way to implement it by giving you actual tasks.
Well, yeah, but they sort of began implementing it in New Leaf. That when they had the Welcome Amiibo update, they added in these, like, I can't remember what they're called. I think they're like Amiibo points or something. And it's basically
Amiibo miles.
Amiibo miles, sure. And you do like little tasks like catch a bug, say like give something to a friend or whatever, and you get
post shit through Tom's letterbox.
Yeah, that's it. Like set fire to Levi's house, and you get like points that you can spend on items only in like other people's camper vans and stuff.
Nice.
So they sort of started with that, but I like the direction they're going with it now.
Cut the brakes from Tom's vehicle. You get 20 Nook miles. But yeah, that's cool. I like that. It means
sleep with Tom Nook's wife.
It also encourages you to do more. Say like you're someone who really mostly just like likes to go fishing. It might encourage you to like get your net out, catch some bugs, see if you can get like 5 bugs in a day and earn some miles, because you can, with these Nook miles, you can buy like Nook merch and like special items. So like a lot of recipes. I also noticed there was like a custom designed pro editor app that you could download. Like, so maybe you do need to get a few Nook miles before you can get all of the features. It's like a good incentive to start doing different things and, adding a bit of variety.
Yeah. Hopefully, like in the future, they'll continue to add more apps that we've not got any inkling of what they'll do yet.
Yeah, I'm interested. There was like something about a tool ring as well, but anyway. Firstly, what I did like is that you could quick change between tools. I don't know how this is implemented in New Leaf because I've never played it.
Yeah, it was on the D-pad. It was very easy to do. It was made like everything so much easier. It was great.
Yeah, because in fact, I've been playing Wild World again, and having to like, say I want to like plant a new tree where a tree already existed. I had to get my axe out, I had to cut it down, I then had to go back into the menu, I had to put the axe away, I then had to equip the shovel, and then get the shovel, and then unequip the shovel, or get my like the fruit that I wanted to plant out, and then bury it. But like, it was a bit of a kerfuffle because you had to go through your inventory,
especially if you're getting chased by bees and you had to get your net out.
And it just seems so seamless on this gameplay, and I feel like a lot of people probably didn't play New Leaf as well. I feel like a lot of people I've spoke to about this have gone are going to jump straight from Wild World to this game. So for a lot of people, that is a big deal. Sort of seeing that you can just simple like press of a button instead of navigating menus.
Yeah, it's like huge quality of life updates that have been made. Like sort of gradually since New Leaf. Since Wild World, and then they're just fully implementing it all. It's gonna be good.
How cool were the like dangerous creatures like the wasps and the scorpions, like the little animations for those
Yeah,
guys?
like the insects can actually knock you out now as well.
Yeah.
Like you get like
that-
stung by a bee, like standard affair. You get a big, like
Yeah,
swollen eye.
I got a shiner on my eye the other day on the DS. So yeah,
Yeah.
better stock up on the old medicine.
But
there.
now, like, they can actually like properly knock you out, and I don't know if that was a thing in past games. I don't remember that ever happening. But if you don't carry medicine, you get stung or bitten or something again, you like pass out in the middle of a field.
Yeah, and I thought that was really. I just remember seeing like a little scorpion on the beach, and I was like, "That's neat." That's
Oh yeah,
cool.
and they
I don't
like
wanna
jump to a river to get away from it or something.
Yeah,
Or the
it
spider.
was cool. I love the like nighttime sort of scenes as well. I saw that you could like encounter ghosts, and you want to like you're encouraged to illuminate your surroundings for the nighttime. So like an array of torches or maybe some light fixtures and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the idea of like
Minecraft
fishing
style.
like, in the nighttime. Oh, exactly. It's like Minecraft. I hope I can make a recipe for sponge. But anyway, there's like I would love to fish like in the nighttime. I do that a lot now because like when I'm winding down, and it's gonna look so good.
Yeah,
on
I'll
Switch.
probably
I'm
be
so
playing it
excited.
a lot at night as well. Like working during the day, I won't be able to play much in the daylight. I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. It depends on daylight savings. I hope they include that in the game later on. But I also saw they also showed off like the castaways that wash ashore, and you're like encouraged to keep them company and help them like on their way.
See, I wasn't too sure why they mentioned that because that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
They've always had like, was it Gulliver? I mean, I guess
Yes,
it makes
yeah.
sense because you're on an island. They're washing ashore on your island.
But are these castaways like? Are they always going to be new residents, or are they just people you encounter and then they bugger off? Like,
Yeah, I'm
I wonder.
unsure about
But you're
that.
encouraged. You're encouraged to like stay by for a little bit, interact with them. Like, I wonder if they end up being sort of a big part of it, or if they're just like, oh, I'll go home now. I just ended up here. I don't know. But yeah, that was an interesting thing. But they showed also the optional extras. So the part one, they were just kind of wrapping up. But you'll be pleased to know that Tom, you can build a house. Take out another Tom Nook interest-free loan, and there you go.
No, I like that you're not like sort of rushed into building a house either. It's just
You're not
an
tied
option.
down to being on the property market just
You can
yet.
spend
You can stick with
the
the
whole
tent.
game just living in a tent if you wanted.
It was like I saw as well. Like sometimes you might be, a bit. It might put you off because I saw it was like 98,000 bells in the trailer. I was like, oh geez. I mean, obviously there's no deadline to repay it, but it's always like that's always looming over you. So if you want the classic Animal Crossing experience, that'll be it. Having to pay for it. You can extend it, you can remodel it, all of the stuff that we know.
Have
But
you
the thing I
ever
liked,
fully paid off a house in Animal Crossing?
I feel like I did when I was younger. But I did play it like every day for about 4 years.
I
think
never
I
did
had
it.
like.
My brothers
Did you not?
did it.
How-
I never did.
How big did it get? You had like 3 floors. You had like just this massive room. It almost felt too big. It was great.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
like a
know.
big old mansion, but I guess at that point you're so rich that you
True.
deserve it.
Yeah, you've earned it. But okay, so I really like the interior design tools in-house. I don't know how much this was implemented or how much this has changed from New Leaf, but it looked awesome in the trailer. The way that you can like, get
it's
different
already
perspectives.
so much different, really.
How does it differ from New
Well,
Leaf? Like, is it
New
just
Leaf-
massive or?
Again, New Leaf updated a bit, so it was you could sort of go into like a basic overview version and just sort of drag stuff around a bit easier, but it wasn't as well implemented as it's going to be on New Horizons.
Yeah, there was like you could allow like viewing the house from different angles to see exactly where the furniture would go. I like the way that you could click like multiple things, like say like there's some ornaments hanging on the wall. You could click like 3 in a row just if you wanted to move it a little bit.
Yeah, just group
It just
them
looks so nice.
Oh,
it looks
man.
so satisfying.
I'll tell you one thing that it sounds silly, but I really like about the house design is the windows in the house, because like for the past plenty of games they've just been little square windows you can't do anything with. They're just there. But now they've got curtains. If you shut the curtains in the house, they're shut on the outside.
Oh, it's so good. It's that Nintendo attention to detail as
A
well.
bit of polish.
Oh, I love a bit of polish, me. Big fan of polish. And then I saw this thing. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of adjusting the furniture like making it look pretty, kind of tailoring it to exactly how you want it. I'm going to be very excited for that. But I saw as well, there was a thing about Nook Miles tickets that you can buy.
Yes,
so another reason, so you can buy tours of distant islands. So it's harkening back to the earlier Animal Crossings in that you can visit an island. But this like sort of is full of materials and creatures that you might not find on your own island. So it's like a worthwhile journey to go on.
Yeah, and there's also extra villagers on there. Because I think it's worth mentioning that you only start on the island with 2 villagers now. Whereas before you would start with a whole town full. Or at least a bunch.
I suppose, and Wild World you start with like 4. It's still like enough people.
Yeah.
But it does get bigger, but this is like even more. Obviously, like you said, 2 going up to like 8 people. It finally, like, it slowly sort of builds. And like you said, you can meet residents on these like mysterious islands. And maybe like you encounter them later, they come visit your island. I'm not sure. I wonder to what extent you can make pals with these residents and like message them and post some stuff.
Yeah, I do wonder. Sorry, moving on.
That's all right.
Slightly.
That's all right.
It's got amiibo support now, as well. As that's been confirmed. And you had like the amiibo cards for all of the villagers and special characters, and you used to be able to just swipe them on your 3DS and they would move in or they would visit. And I'm wondering if that is still going to be in place, that sort of system.
I think it will, because they said that they're not implementing all of that straight away, and some of the functionality might differ early on, on release. Because you can see in the trailer, actually KK, they're like, oh, we don't have support for KK, but keep an eye out, because I think that they will. It'll like just be like post-launch sometime in the future. They'll make it so these cards can be the same as New Leaf, where you can invite residents, hopefully.
Yeah, so just to interject there, when you talked about KK, I don't remember there being anything about how he'll show up in the game.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna...
Because that's always been like a little sort of thing, relatively well hidden. Like on the GameCube one, it was like 8 o'clock on a Saturday by the train station. Then Wild World, it was in the little cafe.
It was the cafe in the museum, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's all a little bit unsure how that's gonna work in. If that's gonna be an extra building that's built or some little set.
We'll talk about buildings in just a sec. But what I quite liked is they mentioned party play. So 4 residents can play together. You can use just the Joy-Cons like on the same screen, and it's kind of like a follow the leader sort of mechanic. So you have one person who like dictates really where everybody goes. It's to stop people like all running off doing their thing. It's obviously impossible when you're following one screen. But you can like play with like, say you've got like little brothers or, little siblings who want to play with you, or a friend comes over and you want to show them like your island or whatever. It's like a good way of doing that locally. So it's nice that they added like a local co-op sort of aspect to the game.
Yeah, and that was a surprise actually. I wasn't expecting anything like that.
Yeah, me too. And the non-leaders, like all the stuff that they've collected, any of the items, creatures, fossils, they all get put in the recycling box. So like it feels like they can actually help you out, and it's not just like a little feature. Hopefully it's something that people will take advantage of, because I wasn't expecting it at all. I wasn't expecting any kind of like local play.
Yeah, it's going to be different. I'm looking forward to that.
And we talk about this game being like a sort of real life sort of aspect, and there is a lot of real world services within the Switch online app that they're going to try, called the Nook Link, which is releasing like pretty much not long after the game's been released, sometime in March. And that's where you can like scan the QR codes. That's where you can implement things from other games. You can use the smartphone keyboard for like chatting. I don't know how many people are going to use that, but
no,
it was like a nice,
I might actually download the Switch app for that. Maybe finally, because I've had no reason to.
Yeah, because we just chat. We just chat on our computers usually. It'd be interesting if they make it work and make it like a feasible option. But for now, I don't know. We'll see. But I like Tom said, you get additional residents. Like, I like the fact that you gradually expand the island, but also you actually have the freedom to work out where they live. You can really make the island like your own. You can pick the spots for like where future homes are going to be. Yeah. So even if like residents haven't even come in, you can say, well, you're going to be here because it's like where I want.
This is my
Yeah.
town. You can't just build a house in the middle of my flower field, Hazel, you bitch.
Tom's bringing some stuff back up that
Sorry,
he's
I had
supposed to
get
talk
that
with his
out, man.
therapist, not on a podcast. But and also you mentioned like Nook. Like I wonder, because you can add like additional facilities like later on. I don't know when, but like the museum, Nook shops, Able Sisters. They mentioned a campground for like recreational purposes. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
the
so the
extent of what that'd
campground
be about.
on the other one was like an area where, like, you would get villagers who were about to move in or were just like visiting that you could sort of convince to move into your town, or if you used the amiibo cards or whatever, they would visit that campground, and you could try and convince them to move into your town. So it might be a similar sort of deal in that sort of respect with the amiibo support.
Oh, like sort of a little hub for like new residents.
Yeah, or just like
cool.
visiting residents where you can just say, "Hey, do you want to move in?"
Yeah. Well, this is a really good way of like just slowly expanding the island. It feels like you're not just gonna, you really got to work for it, and you got to live with the game to get all of these kind of like upgrades to your island, which I quite like. Like the resident service tent is a tent at first, but it can be expanded. You can actually make it a proper building, sort of like the town hall, stuff like that. You can do everything that you could do in games before. When Isabel becomes a part of it, she's like the operational support. So like the changing of the tune, the flag. There was a thing about island evaluation as well. I'm not entirely sure, but like all of those kind of, you know, sort of more technical aspects of the island, you can customize. But it comes with time.
I guess you may not have really had any interaction with Isabel, have you? Not playing New Leaf.
Yeah, not really, I suppose.
So yeah, she's a nice. I'm glad she was a feature of that, because she's a much loved character, and
she's become a fan favorite. For the Animal Crossing sort of fandom. So I know about Isabel plenty because of, you know, how much people love that character. So it's nice that they gave her sort of, it feels like she's got a lot more of like a main sort of part as well. She even shuffles in at the end of the direct, like, hey, I'm here. It's like fan service, here you go, in the best possible way.
Yeah, because we were all expecting her to be there, but it was just how she was going to be implemented.
We knew she was coming, drinking her vacation juice and having a good time. But I like, you know, there was a thing that like lots of tourists can visit the island, loads of new people. The turnip lady kicks the shoe clothing accessory dude, the carpet salesman. I saw like there was like some of the new things that you could get from like coming across these people. I saw like a wand that like gives you like different outfits on the fly. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see
and
that.
they like wave their magic wand and they had a new outfit. And it was like, I wonder like what kind of weird accessories you get, like just from coming across different people from different places. Because I saw this wand. I was like, have you ever seen a wand that can immediately change your clothes on like New Leaf or anything like that?
No, it's never been. I don't think so. Maybe it's something that like Gracie would use, the fashion.
Yeah, I don't
giraffe.
know. It's a strange one, but I saw stuff like that, and I just thought it was really interesting. Like I remember like coming across like turnip people. I never did. Do you ever do the turnip sales?
My younger brother did, and he made a hell of a lot of money. But it's sort of it's. I don't know. It's too complicated.
It went way over my 10-year-old head.
Yeah, I feel like it's not that complicated. You just got to sell them before the week is out.
Yeah.
And hopefully get more than what you bought them for. Yeah.
It's like time management, isn't it? And obviously, I'm not great at that.
Well, now with the new communication skills, it's easier to sort of tell someone, "Hey, my turnip prices are great. Come to my town, buy a load of turnips.
Get a load of my turnips.
And then you'd
come
say,
to my island."
Well, they're buying them for like fucking double that in mine, so we'll buy them all in mine.
Mate, fucking turnip prices are through the roof.
That's how you make a killing on turnips. I'm telling you, man.
I expect your like turnip walkthrough guide when the game comes out.
Yeah, sure.
But like, there's obviously, this has been the case for like quite a few, for quite a few Animal Crossing games. But like the updates, the special events, they're all going to be added in post as well, sort of free updates and like seasonal stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I think. Sort of discourages time skipping, time travelling, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's all going to be very natural now. You can't like sort of cheat your way to it, but it will just come like naturally. I think that's really cool.
I have to ask, Levi,
Please
do
ask.
you time travel in Animal Crossing?
One time I time travelled on the DS when I was like a kid, like 100 years or something, and it was just full of weeds and everybody left. I started crying, I think. I was like, I've ruined my town!
And therefore
So I tried to go back in time and it was still full of weeds. I was like, what have I done?
yeah, I think I definitely did that. But I used to time travel all the time. When I was like, if I was like playing like throughout a whole day, and I'd pretty much done everything I wanted to do in a day, I'd just skip to the next day. But this sort of like snowballed into me, ended up being about 3 years ahead. Like after like the first year.
You just couldn't stop time traveling.
No, I just did it all the time. So I don't know how easy they'll make it, because they made it pretty easy to do in the last games.
I think it's going to be nigh on impossible on the Switch.
Yeah, I would like to think that I won't time travel.
Well, we will see. We will see if there's time traveling capabilities. I'll tell you what I really, really liked about and I saw this because you can follow the in Animal Crossing Twitter now. They mention it in the direct, but there's so many additional customizationable options that really make that island like a one of a kind. So I saw bridge designs, different types of ramps, staircases, slopes. You can get so many different types. But there's a traversing option now. So when you make these crazy sort of island landscapes, so much easier to get around. There'd be a time where I'd generate an island, like a town on Animal Crossing Wild World. And I'd be like, great, I have to go all the way round. I have to go over this bridge. But now you just have a vaulting pole. You can get ladders.
Yeah.
If you go up cliffs, it's so much easier to traverse the island. It's just, they really thought of oh, okay, we get it. You're probably going to, it's a bit of a nightmare going around.
I wonder what the speed runs are going to be like, man.
I can't wait. Can you even speed run this game? How can you manipulate this game? I'll be so curious. But talking about the geography of your island, it's never been easier to make it your own, because I guess you have to be a little bit further down the line, but you get this island designer construction permit. So when your island's all decked out, this app unlocks on your phone, and it means you can pave your own paths, and I saw this trailer, right, that had round curves where you can brush it up.
Yeah.
And it creates
it was very
beautifully
satisfying
curved.
to watch.
Oh, that really, there was some sort of OCD aspect of my personality where I saw that and went, oh, my island now will be actually perfect.
Yeah.
But there was waterscaping, cliff construction.
The terraforming is just a complete game changer.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm going to make a little cliff face, a little waterfall that juts out and lands into a river that comes onto the lower level. It's going to be perfect. So that's that made my day, seeing how easy and how the further on you get, it will be entirely your island, how you see fit, how you want it to work, where you want buildings to be, where people are going to live, where cliffs are going to be. It's it's never been. It's the most one of a kind experience.
Yeah, it's
I
the
think
most
you're gonna
customizable town, because it's always felt like it's your town, but it's never felt like you could actually make it entirely your own. You're sort of dealt the hand you're given, really.
Exactly. So what do you think is your overall? Would you say that excited you? This was a substantial direct and
Yes.
got you gearing up for the release.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Christ, I'm so excited for it anyway. I can't wait.
Man.
I've been waiting for this game for years. So it's
yeah,
going to completely.
and it feels strange.
pump hours into it.
We're literally days away from release now, and I do feel like a child again. There's very few game releases that come around that give me that sense of oh god, it's so great. It's so great to be in this position as a gamer to want to play these kind of games. And I probably haven't been this excited since maybe Red Dead Redemption, which is ironic. It's a completely different type of game, but a game where you remember how fondly you played a game either in the series or a similar game. So Wild World for me, I just feel it's all going to come sort of back, and it's going to be both nostalgic, but also the new features makes it's a whole new experience. It's going to be a great mix.
Yeah, you're not going to hate it. You're going to enjoy almost every aspect of the game.
Yeah, it's such an easy purchase for me as someone who's played the Animal Crossing game, and I imagine the same for anybody else who's played an Animal Crossing game and enjoyed it. There's no way I think that you're not going to enjoy this game.
That's nice, man.
It's
totally
nice.
your island. It's your life, your escape. You can throw away the troubles of real life, disappear,
That's great.
throw your money to a little raccoon who just thrives on capitalism
Yeah.
and is building his empire.
I'll tell you what I'm glad about, because Tom and I would probably play this together, and I did have, like, in the back of my head, I was like, what if Tom fucks with my island? What if, like, while I'm away, Tom, like, builds shit, knocks down some trees, axes some stuff.
Makes it
but
better.
they've even freaking catered for, you know, reprobates like you, Tom, because
Griefers,
you can actually
yes.
have, like, you get, like, these allowances for players. So say I get, like, someone, you can, like, I can stop you from using axes. You can't shovel my island to shit unless I make you a best friend, and I'll think deeply about that. You know, you can
That's
stop
wise.
people
That is
from
wise.
causing carnage. The only thing that came up from the FAQ thing is apparently there's no save data
No
backup
backups,
from the cloud.
Yeah, which is
Which I thought was
disappointing.
strange. I thought that would be easy. Well, not easy. Obviously, nothing's easy because we don't know the ins and outs of it. But I thought that would be something that they'd have sorted out. But apparently, there is a service. They will provide a service in certain scenarios where you can recover backup data. But I wonder how that's going to happen.
Yeah, I
and
wonder
if-
how easy that's going to be to implement, or if they'll just end up adding in a cloud backup.
Yeah, do you
At
think
a later
somewhere down
date,
the line
maybe,
they'll
yeah.
add
Maybe it's
their
just
own?
not
'Cause
quite there. I don't know.
yeah, it's interesting. But there's a lot to come. The game's not even out yet, but I think we definitely got our fill of content. I am so hyped to play the game.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait to get it. I'm going to be playing it day one. Tom is as well, if he can, you know, if he finds the time.
Yeah, I absolutely will be. Straight from work,
yeah.
I'm going there. Going to that island, disappearing.
Oh man, it's so excited. Can't wait.
It's going to be great.
But yeah, Tom, I think we've got it out of our systems. We wanted to talk about it just before it came out. We'll probably talk about it again post-release, probably just to see if we were as excited as we thought, if it was everything we hoped it would be. But for now, I'm feeling good. I'm excited, and oh god, I'll see you on my island, and I'll see you on yours, Tom.
See you on the crossing, man.
Oh mate, we're gonna get so much vacation juice you don't even know.
Yeah.
But that just about does it for the Notepod. Again, we've gone a bit jumbo with this one, but I say, you know, within the hour, you got enough. You got a bit of Animal Crossing talk. You know, hopefully, you know, you guys should check out the Direct on the Nintendo channel and just see for yourself if that's the kind of game that you want. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Tomo.
Thank you, man. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.
Bye.